Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today's review is of the new Marillion song, Murder's Machine. After the excellent Be Hard On Yourself, the 9-minute odd 3-part epic, and the first song to be released from Marillion's forthcoming album, An Hour Before It's Dark, we now have the second song to be released from the album, and this time it's a lot more snappier. It's a 4-odd-minute rocker called Murder Machines. Although no less majestic than the previous song, Murder Machines is the perfect Marillion sort of single. And if the world wasn't in such a messed up place, then it should be #1 in the charts. But unfortunately, we live in the real world, and back in that real world, it was unlikely to get much in the way of radio play or sort of get into the top 10. But you never know. Yeah, I mean, we are used to the more epic, sort of overlong songs from Marillion, but at the same time, it's good that they can still write those sort of shorter, sort of real upbeat, rockier sort of songs. And although the song sounds quite uplifting and upbeat, the subject matter is pretty much less so. Steve Hogarth, the singer, has gone on record that, you know, when it came to this album, that he didn't want to write about the pandemic and COVID-19 because he thought everyone would be doing. But in the end, he couldn't help but let it creep in, and this is probably the song on the album that I think is probably going to be the main sort of song lyric content about the pandemic. The main lyric here talks about how wrapping your arms around a loved one could ultimately kill them. Obviously talking a lot about people that, you know, passing on the pandemic and how people couldn't really do that. Steve has now explained that the song sort of developed from that premise to go on a little bit to more hint about the jealousy and heartbreak of seeing another person you love embrace another, the so-called emotional murder of the serial adulterer. And further developing it still into the arm of sort of superpowers who have their fingers on the triggers. Beware of the murder machines, as it were. Musically, it's bright with a simple melody. There's a lot of big guitar in this, but there's a nice rhythm led by the drums and the bass. And it's a much more majory sort of keyed song. It's certainly, there's lots of guitar being played over the sort of main rhythm of the song, and Mark Kelly's keyboard sort of swirls and underlays everything to give a real strong backbone really to the whole song. The guitar solo is typical Rothery, a sort of melodic masterpiece. It does almost sound, it's got a sort of strange tone to it, almost like a sort of keyboard sound, but there are also little guitar breaks as the song builds and builds up to its end. Steve Hogarth himself, still sounding as great as he did, similar to the last song. I think he's going to sound really good on this album. He sounds as good today as he did 30 years ago. And he still proves that he can write a poignant lyric that wrapped up in a really catchy sort of melody. Structurally then, this song is more like songs like Power from Sounds That Can't Be Made, or even something like Don't Hurt Yourself or You're Gone from the Marbles album. But it makes me excited really for the full album, which will be released in pretty much a month's time, beginning of March. And certainly if these last two songs or anything that go by then, and the quality is on par with those, then we're in for something a little bit special. And at the time, I thought when Fear came out, there was nothing that, you know, it was going to be downhill from there because that was a real great album. But the way that I'm listening, I think that this one could even surpass Fear. So if you check out the description below, I've put a link to the video, because I've done a video to sort of accompany this new song, which is, you know, Marillion don't really do much in the way of rock videos, so it's good that they've put a sort of quite poignant video in there as well. And as I say, you can catch that on the link, or you can just search for it on YouTube. But let me know what you think of the song, whether you've got high expectations. Do you think this is as good as the last track that they released, Be Hard On Yourself? yourself, and what are your expectations of the new album? I'm really interested to hear what you think of this song, and what your your thoughts are as the new album comes out. There has been, if you've got the recent Prog magazine, there's a massive article about the writing of this album, a big interview with the band, and also a review of the album itself. So, you know, I had a quick look at that before I recorded this video, and certainly it sounds like we're in for something a little bit special. And it's a big, although there's only 6 songs on the album, it's about 68 minutes. There's some big long epics on there. And the last song's about 15 odd minutes long, and apparently that one is going to be not only the best song on the album, but one of the best songs that Marillion's ever written. So look forward to that, and obviously I'll be bringing you hopefully some more Marillion content, and also obviously a review of the album when it comes out as well. But I'm interested to let me know what you think of this new song, Murder Machines, and how do you feel it fits in terms of the whole Marillion sort of back catalogue. Hope you've enjoyed this little mini review, and until the next one, you know what you got to do. Keep on prog rocking.